All right, we're live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tat Chat number 130 with myself and Nick, our weekly eBay chat, where we just get together and just chat about whatever's going on in our heads, to be honest, at that moment. And you lovely guys in the chat join us and help us out with topics and other things to talk about. I think that's pretty much a summary of what's been happening. Hi, Nick. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. There may be a bunch of people in here that came over from my channel where I briefly had Steve and Steph on. It was great to catch up with them and share the fact that they've been allowed another channel.
It's crazy, isn't it?
They've got out of jail.
Oh gosh,
YouTube
purgatory. You know, I mean, that was a bummer. I caught just the tail end, literally, as you guys were wrapping up. Well, I was out when I spoke to you earlier. I always seem to be out just before. I need to sort my timings out. But yeah, it was good to see that they were going to be able to live stream again on a separate channel. So
oh, no, that's so exciting. It means we can carry on our little game show thing that we were doing. So yeah, lots of people are popping in to say hi. Let me just scroll back and see who you had in first. Oh, Lucy was in first.
Man. Yeah, Lucy T. Oh, hi, Lucy. Yeah, Peter Ray's Adventures. Hi, Peter Ray.
Yeah,
it's like name change.
Yeah.
Mr. Diggs as well. Hi, Mr. Diggs. Adrian's in the chat as well. Good to see you. Positive as ever. Karen as well. Karen sells clothes. Lex is in there. Steve and Steph. Lol. YouTube purgatory. Lol. I just said that because it's so like unfair. Do you know what I mean? It's just such an. It's just ridiculous. Like, you know, I caught just the tail end when you guys were talking about your doorbell system and how it says that you're recording, and just you know, just it's just weird how the rules work.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Darren's in there as well. Yeah. Lonnie. Hi, Lonnie. How you? I'm gonna have to listen and work.
I was just chatting privately to Darren and Phoebe. Last night I was out with my sister in the pub, and I managed to fall off the curb. I wasn't that drunk, right? It was just dark, and I twisted my ankle really bad to the point where I was like, okay, maybe I've done something serious here. Like the day before we're flying out, it still hurts like a you know what, but yeah. I don't think I've broken it or anything. It's just
really swollen.
Bad. Hasn't swollen up, but it hurts to touch it. Hurts to walk on it. The day before I'm going out to Andrea was livid. She's like, how can you do this the day before we fly? So hopefully,
just get plenty of strapping over it, and you know,
just needs some rest, I think. So
yeah, but give it some support though. There's a lot of decent support
I can get one of those
like you can get those you know, those like tape type things, and there's all ankle support. It's well worth doing because you just take a bit of pressure off of it.
Yeah, I might pick one up at the airport.
Yeah, last thing you want to do, man, is like I know you're a bit slapdash, but do you know what I mean? Like, imagine if you were like struggling and hobbling about. That would just be horrible.
I've been hobbling about all day.
Exactly. It's all right to be hobbling about at home, but do you know what I mean? You don't want to be hobbling around on a holiday like that. I mean, you know, definitely not.
And it wasn't even on a skateboard. Darren and Phoebe were saying they weren't sure if I'd fallen off the skateboard. No.
Just the curb. Oh gosh,
like a drunk idiot.
Gosh, the thing is, it's so easy to do. I mean, it wasn't actually that long ago up here where we had a bit of a scare because we've got like a step up to our front door, and I don't know. I was trying to like just leave the house, and I know that's quite a complicated you know, thing to do, but I somehow managed, whilst leaving the house, shut the door with my foot still inside, and there's a step there, so I literally fell and twisted my ankle as well. But I was so lucky not to have done some serious damage the way I felt, and it was like, it's so ridiculous because you're like,
you managed to shut the door on your own.
Yeah, I was in such a rush to get out or whatever. I don't know what was going on. You know, it was all happening
with the guy from E17 who ran himself over with his own car.
That's pretty amazing. I know, right? I literally forgot or didn't think that my foot was still like I was doing it everything like, you know, in one flowing motion, you know, like you do because you're used to, you know, opening and closing doors by the time you're in your late 30s. But you know, this time I just got it wrong and I had my foot still inside and I shut it, and I shut the door, you know, you shut the door hard, right? So it really hurt with me shutting the door on it, and then I fell off the step on, you know, it was just horrible.
I sometimes do this great maneuver when I've got arms full of packages going to the car, and I
little
shut
flick
the front door with my foot.
Yeah,
so I've never shut my foot in it.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? I think it was something along those lines because I think I had a parcel as well, and it was all, yeah, it was really silly. Really, it was kind of silly, and it was kind of well deserved. But it just shows that you've got to be so careful, and it can be the simplest things that you don't think about, that you know that can really put you out of action. And even if you just take that to reselling, I mean, we all rely on our health to do it, and you know, you get so blasé at home, you know, like around stock, and you know, we pile stuff up really high, and like, we've got crates or boxes that, you know, and we don't have any of the precautions that you'd have in a normal workplace. Like, you know, imagine if you were working at like a company or something, they'd probably have guidelines on how to stack something, or you know, safety. We don't work with safety. We're at home, right, guys? And you know, stuff could just fall on you because you've just packed it, you stacked it a certain way. You know, we're in a very hazardous environment, guys. Don't forget it. I know it might not seem like it, but you know,
just turning my ankle over last night, it's not as bad as it could have been, but it really brought it home that I could have easily been out of action, not able to drive, not able to, you know, drop off parcels, and I would have had to hand over all that to Andrea, and it's just falling off a curb could have put
so
me
easy,
out of action
split second,
so easily.
Split second, exactly.
Yeah,
really, you know, it
does put the whole skateboarding in perspective.
I saw that video of that guy that's I can't remember his name now. No,
Mega Pixel.
Yeah, and he'd gotten back on a skateboard after 30 years or something, and
he was skating exactly the same sort of period I was in the late 80s, and he's just got back on a board like me.
That is so cool. I think that is the coolest thing. I really do.
He's talking about starting a group for like 40-something skateboarders, and I think that's a great idea.
You know what? I think there's a channel on YouTube as well.
There is. I follow it.
There's a guy that, like an old guy that decided he would take up skateboarding, and I think he was in his 40s or 50s, and I think he documented his daily literally day by day how he's gotten better. Like there's videos of him trying to pop ollies and things in the park for like hours on end, and kids like standing around seeing this middle-aged guy deciding that he's going to become like a skater, and it's just epic, and this guy loves it. So
I've watched a lot of that.
I love that. It's so epic.
I just saw a super chat pop up.
Oh wow. It's the car boot picker again. Ruddy hell, David. Great video, guys. Thanks for sharing. Sorry I have to go here. Enjoy your holiday, Nick. Bye everyone from across the pond. Wow, that is super generous of you, David.
David super chatted me like half an hour ago.
Wow,
you're too generous, David.
I really do appreciate it.
And
it's mega appreciated. Okay, let's just go down the chat a little bit. There's been a lot of chat going on.
Saying their sales are slow in numbers, but some decent high value sales have made up for it. We've had a similar story. Ours were really off a cliff, and we had the worst week we've had for years on eBay. And then it just like night and day came back on, and we were doing £200-300 days again. But it was really odd. And I don't, as you know, we were talking about.
We have a bit of a difference of opinion on this, I think. Normally, I'm with you, but on this, like, I'm not for the tinfoil hat theories.
Yeah, I've never really seen anything to back up the whole idea of eBay themselves switching things on and off. But it would make sense of a lot of stuff. But I still think people are looking for reasons behind something that's completely arbitrary. I
wouldn't say that they do it. No, I agree that I don't think, because it's not, as many people have pointed out, it's not in eBay's, you know, they've got a vested interest in you and I selling our stuff, right? I don't think that, I don't buy the blackouts and them hiding certain shops in order to promote other shops. I don't buy that. What I'm just going by simply is that there seems to be literally an actual you know, a mechanical issue almost, as you will. You know, it just seems to be that way because, like, you know, people, too many people, and people that you would, you know, you would never question their work ethic. I mean, even Leanne Ball posted, and you know, we all know how she's running like a mega, you know, high turnover, high volume clothes selling business, and even she has noticed that since actually the views came back, her auction sales have increased, like the value she's getting, so the amount of people watching and bidding on her items has gone back up. And there's been other sellers that are saying that once their views return, their sales return. I mean, I've got to say, I've noticed that as well, that once the view count has returned, it's coincided with sales returning. And I've got like the kind of nice situation where my stock is like it's in multi quantities, so you know, it's like if the stuff I've been selling like hotcakes for weeks on end, if it suddenly stops selling, unless there's been a drastic shift in the buying public who decide they no longer want what I've got to sell, it's just a bit weird for it to just turn off and then instantly turn back on with no real input from myself. I've not been on some big listing sprees or anything like that, but last couple of days, like you've said, sales just seem to have come back in. I'm starting to get those pull starter sales from Norway, or you know, this part, that part, you know.
Well, I could certainly go along with, I mean, we've all seen things with our own eyes that's gone wrong on eBay recently. The whole view thing, that's very visual, we can all see it, we can all record, and switching that, not, I don't think by their own choice.
No.
But I can subscribe to the fact that maybe there's other stuff going on in the background that they're struggling with. Things are a little bit broken.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any malice behind it. I would not say there's any. I think you get into the tin hat quadrant if you think that they're doing it like nefariously. Do you know what I mean? Like, to you, because, that's,
as you said before, if we are suffering in sales, imagine how eBay are suffering. Yeah. Because their whole revenue is only reliant on us selling stuff.
Exactly.
Pretty much. Yeah. I know there's fees to list and they still get that, but yeah, the lion's share of their money comes from the commission they take when we sell stuff. So if we're not selling, they're not making, and they will be feeling it. So, yeah, you know, guaranteed there are a lot of people panicking right now because things aren't working.
Yeah. Oh, Lonnie says here, thought of you, picked up a Futaba controller receiver servo, new old stock this weekend, sold in 2 days. Superb. Yeah, wow. Guys, Futaba is a brand that you should definitely be looking out for. Then they're very highly regarded, especially when it comes to radio controlled planes and helicopters. They sell really good quality transmitters. So basically your controller, and the controller and the, you know, so the transmitter and the receiver, they sell really good quality transmitters and receivers, which a lot of pilots of RC planes and helicopters swear by, because they're very reliable. Because obviously you don't want your expensive shiny new radio control plane to suddenly drop out of the sky because you've lost control of it because the signal's gone. Do you know what I mean? So Futaba is a brand, definitely, if you see it new or old, worth picking up. It could have some value. So definitely.
Peter's got a good question regarding dispatch times while we're away. Andrea has literally, once I finish packaging the orders from today, we put our shop on holiday, and we are going to manually adjust our dispatch time until we come back. It does add a little bit of work, but you know, 5 minutes in the evening to just adjust our dispatch time as we go.
I think in regards to metrics as well, I think putting it on holiday mode doesn't protect you against late deliveries. It's something that I think people forget. But I believe if you put your shop on holiday mode, but you still had the setting where you allow people to buy, and you forget to change your handling time, I believe you can still get dinged for not having the item sent out in your allotted handling and dispatch time.
Yeah, so to cover yourself, it's wise to just extend your handling time. So we're going to set it at 10 days, and then we'll reduce it down day by day. And also what I've tended to do is, if I've got time, I will email every buyer, if we get buyers, and just say, are you aware of X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, just to give them a bit of, because they'll somehow, customers will somehow ignore that giant banner.
There's always one or two who are like, what? I just clicked on my phone and bought something I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. But then you just say request a cancellation and deal with it. So
exactly. Oh my gosh. Frankie's Fine says, my daughter once shut her elbow in the car door so hard she passed out. Ooh, that sounds painful. That
me.
yeah.
Oh, that made my stomach flip over then.
And Shazad has said Voltarol 12 gel should work, Nick.
Oh, okay.
For your ankle, the Voltarol 12 might be worth smearing some of that over your ankle.
I'll have a look. Yeah, I think hopefully there'll be a Boots at Gatwick, and I'll buy a few bits and bobs.
Reseller mum says, guys, I'm in a major huff. My other half took yesterday's sack of parcels out this afternoon, and he's just come in. He forgot to drop off. Gutted. 12 parcels, 1 day dispatch, all manifested. Oh gosh.
So nightmare.
That is, how many times has that happened though? It happened to me today. I went out to pick back up and I had parcels in the back, and I got home and I'd forgotten to post them. So we had to go out again. It's like, it happens though. You take stuff out to do, you end up doing something else.
What I do more than often, or the one thing that catches me out, is I'll have parcels all over the floor. I'll bag them all up, take them. I'll get back, and there'll be one still on the floor.
Oh yeah, the one that just gets away.
And it's because I tend to leave things to the last minute. That's my kind of personality. It's then too late to get in the last post, and it's just so frustrating.
That is frustrating. We feel your frustration there, Reseller. I hope that doesn't affect you too much. Even though 1 day handling time, etc.
Because you're relying on someone else.
Yeah.
Annoyance.
Exactly.
Peter Cummins says things go wrong at eBay that we'll never hear about, so can't do anything about it. So may as well carry on listing. Yeah, I mean, I've said something similar many times. Worry about the things you can control. But it is frustrating when it looks like it's almost like eBay aren't keeping their side of the bargain, are they? They're not providing the service we're all paying a lot of money for, and that's frustrating. But you're right, we can't physically really do anything apart from maybe firing off some eBay emails and complaining to them.
I think they're probably getting enough of those. I think they're probably, I think it's just, in a way, it's going back to that whole thing with eBay and how it's performing as a website, just function wise, it's clearly not functioning as intended. I mean, the view counters should be there. I know people have heard that they're getting rid of them, etc., but that's not been announced, so they should be there. They shouldn't be randomly deleting your listings, so your photographs from your listings. If you've worked hard to take 12 photos, you shouldn't then you've used their very own system, which is called Good Till Cancels, where they tell you how great it is because they will automatically relist your item until it sells. So you use that service. It shouldn't.
Glitch or mistake or error is actually the telling one, isn't it? For them to delete millions upon millions of photographs off their own website, there's some major things going wrong in the background.
And today on the Chat Facebook group, Nick, as well, people were mentioning, I think someone mentioned that they were again on the phone to eBay, and just international visibility is a real issue. Now that did perk up my ears because, as the seller of the stuff I'm selling, the stuff we're selling, is very much in demand by people abroad, more abroad.
Like, 40-50%?
Sometimes it can be 60 abroad to 40 at home.
So for you, that is serious.
Exactly, and in a way that has manifested in what's going on. I'm keen to actually look at the same thing, but I think the idea is you go onto ebay.com, which I'm guessing is one of the most searched, obviously eBay sites out of it's the most viewed eBay site out of all the eBay sites, and you should have a look and see how many of your listings are visible on ebay.com. So sign out of eBay and go and have a look. And I think people have been looking at their listings, and it's a tiny percentage of their listings which should be visible because they're on GSP or you offer your own international shipping like I do. So in my case, all of my listings should be visible on ebay.com. And I'm going to be very keen to go and have a look at that and see what the situation is. But according to other people that have spoken on the chat, that's happened. Someone even took the liberty, I think, of checking out Ken's store, because we all know Ken's got like a massive store with over 20k listings, and apparently out of his 23 odd k listings, only about 3,000 of those were visible, which is still a healthy amount. It's more than a lot of people have. Really? But imagine,
surely they're breaking a fundamental term of service there, because we're paying to have that item advertised for sale for 30 days, for example. And if it's not, then
Well, it's advertised in the
turns,
UK website. I don't know. I mean, maybe maybe we need to dig a bit deeper. You know, could it be that you've got to make sure that you've got like a valid postcode entered in terms of when you're searching the website? I mean, is there a way of making it appear? It might not appear to you, it might appear to someone else. You know, we all know that websites tend to show different search results to different people and things like that. So who knows? But that does sound worrying.
Makes an interesting point. It says, in my opinion, I find it hard to believe eBay has the capability to show all these millions of listings at once without crashing. So basically saying that they can only manage to, they've only got the capability to show X amount. But again, that's you know.
Well, I don't think they have to I don't think it constantly has to be on. I mean, I think it's they just have to make it available when they've got the computing power to do that. Because at the end of the day, the listing only has to appear if someone searches for something like it, doesn't it? It's not like you know, it's kind of like I might not be listening to the radio right now, but the radio waves are still there and they're still broadcasting. I'm not tuned into them. It doesn't affect, you know, it doesn't affect that in a way. So I don't think I don't think there's any worry about showing listings. I think it's more the case that we've finally seen in the past few weeks some real cracks in the mechanics of the website. You know, I think that's the thing. I'm not personally going for they're on purposely hiding things. I think the computers are and their systems are smart enough that if you search for something, you can go on eBay right now and search for something and you will find it. That's still pretty magical. It's just more about, you know, is it working fully? So, you know, that's the issue really.
Lonnie was just saying, I'm wondering how much effect not having free returns is having. My listings don't have top rated seller badge anymore because I'm not doing it. Neither am I. And this is it. There's so many layers in there that they've kind of put into the algorithm that perhaps they've confused their own computer so much.
I mean, you know, I've got free postage running. We've got promoted listings running. I've got them at 1%. You know, so I advertise my listings at 1%. You know, we do free shipping. Even our international shipping's pretty cheap now. Yeah, we're ticking all the boxes. You know, fast and free delivery, etc. in the UK. But yeah. BCP says my views have gone again. We're back for a few days, but now gone. And the fact that views are appearing and disappearing as well. It's, you know, I think it's just the age of the website is showing, and they're going to have to do something about it.
The Celtic traders, Caroline and Orfeel are in and say, I didn't put my shop on holidays, just extended my handling time this year. It worked out fine. Exactly. You can just extend that and then nobody has to know that you're away anyway.
The extending handling time is the more important of the two. Yeah, if in terms of like looking after your account.
It covers your back.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah.
That's the one that's more important, definitely. If you're going to do one of the two, then, you know, ideally do both, because you're that way you're at least when your customers go to your listings, they'll have an opportunity to see a message saying, you know.
Diana says, I got a ton of sales the day I had surgery, had my store on vacation with a 10-day handling time. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we always get sales when we go away. I mean, it does slow down because obviously some people are put off by the long handling, but a lot of people don't really care. If you've got the item they need, they'll still buy it.
Yeah. All right. Wow. There's a lot of comments coming through. It's crazy, guys. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Just scrolling down. Okay.
Dot Bob says, I checked my seller's other items on an eBay international page today, the .com one, and only 100 out of 1,000 items appeared under my username. Goes on to say, all my listings have GSP and international delivery. So that's a 10th of his listings that should, in theory, have been visible on the US site. That's quite shocking.
That is, see, that's the thing that really did catch my attention today when people posted that in the chat group. And you know, it's something. I mean, it might not be, I don't know. It's just it's what do you say? But yeah, that is bad. If that's the case, then that is bad. It shouldn't be like that. And in a way, you have to wonder, like, we'd all been receiving messages, I know I certainly did, where they were asking me, or they were trying to encourage me to list directly on ebay.com. And a lot of us were turning around and saying, yeah, but hold on, I'm happy to. So you know, we didn't bother. I mean, I don't know if you ever saw those notifications appearing when you were listing, Nick.
Yeah, I don't think I worried about it.
Well, no, because you're like, well, you're on GSP, your items are still going to show in other eBay sites. So why go through the rigmarole of natively listing on ebay.de or ebay.com? And eBay were very much pushing it because they were like, hey, do this and you won't pay any final value fee or something, you know, sell for free, basically. They were really promoting it. And you have to say, how is that somehow correlated? It doesn't matter because you can't do anything about it, but still something to think about.
Just quickly, Fritz says, hi Nick, see in the background that Andrew's clothing lot hasn't sold or been picked up. Yeah, we've kind of dropped the ball on it. We've been so swept up with getting ready for going away, but I think Andrew is planning to message people in order that they contacted us about it. But we're going to struggle to get it dealt with before we go because we're going at 4 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, that is still happening. I read an interesting one there. Graham Nichols said eBay is bloated and inconsistent with a page full of scripts all fighting for pole position, leaving the user in last place. I think, yeah, they've kind of implemented so much, haven't they, about which controls how visible your item is. You can just imagine that unless they've got all those algorithms working perfectly together, things are going to get missed. Things are going to get messed up, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's so complicated now. They've overcomplicated things, haven't they? Sorry, what was that?
That's just Lonnie saying you need to have a look. Because I used to say let's have a look, or I might still
have a look.
Let's have a look. I don't know. I think I might still say I can't remember. I say a lot of stuff. Star Fox, did you ever get people who complain about a board game ripped in half? I don't know if that's a totally serious question, but Nick does have experience in
I assume that's a harking back to that video I did.
Classic video. That is a classic.
It's gone down in Reseller YouTube folklore. That one.
It has. That one definitely has. That's like a Hall of Fame video. That is, honestly, you couldn't make it up. I mean, you just couldn't make it up.
I think I screen shared some of the emails he was sending me, some of the messages. It was I couldn't make. I really wouldn't have ever made that up.
He really was sticking to his guns that you had sent him.
Yeah, he was like, "You're lying! You're lying! The board is ripped. Here's a picture." I'm like, "It's meant to be like that. How could you fold the board up if it wasn't like that?"
Look at the size of the box that the board game came in.
I mean, just going off on one at me. How could you send me such damaged items?
Most people would just figure out how neatly the board game fit.
My doorbell.
Oh,
I've got a doorbell in here. Bear with.
Yeah.
Somebody at the door. Where's the key gone? Oh, here you go.
Oh, wow. Okay. So Shazad Hussein, you say you should complain to eBay as people are getting 2 to 3 months of their eBay store subscriptions back as a credit. 2 of my friends have anchor stores and both have had 2 months store fees refunded. Wow, Shazad, that's quite a big thing. Nick, I was just reading out Shazad Hussein's comment. He said that he's had 2 of his friends who have got anchor stores, which I think are around £400 a month subscription fee. 2 of his friends who've got anchor stores have had 2 to 3 months of their store subscriptions back because they've complained to eBay about, with the recent issues. And I believe Lee as well, who might not be in the chat here, but he was in the chat actually when I was playing Fortnite, and he mentioned that after seeing like my video on the visibility and all that stuff, like the photos being deleted, he complained to them and they refunded him, or they credited him a month's store subscription as well. Which
that's great. That's well worth everyone.
I think we should maybe, because I'll be honest, I've been quite resistant to like calling them. I hate calling companies, and I find it so like they're just trying to placate you all the time. You know, they try to speak to you in this kind of way that, you know, that they really care, but and you just know the poor guy at the other end doesn't, but he just has to sound like he does. I can't stand all of that. But I think if I can get a couple of months of store subscription back, because I think I deserve it.
I quite enjoy hassling big companies, to be honest. And
I hate calling them.
If you can ring them and go at them with that information, you can say, I know that
I've got this many listings
because of these issues. You're in a position of power.
Well, I can show them. I've got a number of listings. I've got like probably about 100 at least listings where they've removed, you know, a bunch of photos from me, all that hard work, all those hours gone. I can show them how many of my items, which all have international shipping on them, so should be visible on ebay.com and .de, blah, blah, blah. I could show them how many of those are visible. I could show them all of that stuff, definitely. And I'm pretty sure I'd have a good shout. But that's really good advice from Shazad. So guys, if you are having issues, and you've got,
I'd recommend anybody having a go. You know, even if you don't necessarily have the evidence, just say, look, I'm not
happy with the way the website,
with the level of service you're providing. I know that people are getting money back because of the issues. What are you going to do about it?
Graham Nichols says Scavenger Life were saying today that the views were linked to out-of-date browser issues. And I'm not sure what Scavenger Life's like qualifications are, but I do know that they're quite good at like this whole web coding and that kind of stuff. Like I think that they used to, you know, write their own templates in HTML for their listings back in the day when it was the rage to have a very, you know, personalized listing page. So that they do have a better insight than the average Joe about you know, what's going on. And so if they've said that as well, that's and they're pretty reliable source of info, really. Wow.
Just quickly, Brenda, I haven't seen the message. Did you send it to me on Facebook or on my reselling page? I'll have a look when we go off air.
Okay. And Karen says, issue with eBay customer service is the lack of consistency as to what they are saying. One will say one thing, another will say another. I bet they're looking forward to eBay Open in the US. See, that's the thing. When you call them, the reason why they say different things is because they want to be all things to all people. So they will pretty much will want to agree with whatever you're saying to them, you know, because that's how they feel it is good customer service or something. I think they're providing good customer service because they just want to be able to say, oh, they totally understand, and yeah, it could be that what you're saying is the truth, and they're going to say that to every person that calls.
But the fact that they are giving people money back, it speaks volumes. You know, they are putting their hands up and saying, yeah, we've messed up. We haven't provided the service we were charging you for.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, they're willingly giving money back, which, yeah, that's intrigued me, actually.
Because especially anchor stores are like 400 odd quid a month, aren't they? So
well, exactly, they're paying a lot of money up front to make sure their thousands upon thousands of listings are visible. And if they're not getting that, then they're within their rights to get their money back.
Yeah, completely. I think the more we talk about this, the more I feel, yeah, actually there's, you know, there are times when the mantra of just keep on listing isn't always applicable because, you know, not to mention that some of us out there will run out of things to list and run out of money to buy more things to list because you keep on listing, if they're not selling because the website's that broken, it's not going to do you any favors.
Darren was saying, oh, it just jumped, I lost it. But his theory is that they're using their servers to play Fortnite. And that's what's messing it up. I can't see the comment anymore.
Oh, gosh. You wouldn't put it past them, I suppose. I've just seen it. I've just seen it. Oh, yeah, my theory is that eBay are using the servers to play Fortnite, limiting the processing power to show listings. Oh, gosh. I hope not.
Steve and Steph have just said, if some of you guys want me to check here in the US how many items you have showing, let me know your username and I'll check.
Oh man,
That would
Steven's
be an
definitely going to get inundated with usernames then.
that would be an
So
interesting insight.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely to actually see it from an IP address in the US and take out any kind of
It would make an interesting video if a bunch of people sent the username
yeah.
and Steven instead. So there should be 2,000 on this username. Let's have a look and see how
George
messed up
Ross
it is.
says, "Oh, bitching about eBay right up my street."
We're not. It's not
Sometimes,
necessarily bitching, but they're
yeah.
having issues. So it's hard to be positive at the moment about what's going on. I'll be honest.
And
There's not a
Stixef
lot.
says, totally, Zaheer, worth the pain you will endure in this case. Oh yeah, the calling people. Some people, you know, are fine with it. I'll be honest, I struggle with. I really do. I will do my best to avoid speaking to.
If I have a genuine complaint, I am really into. I think people should phone up and complain. I've made a couple of videos about it, and I think these companies need that in a way.
They do.
Be aware of what the problems are. You know what I mean? And if everybody spoke up when they had those problems, I think things would get dealt with quicker.
I completely agree with you. I think it's just honestly, like, even when I've got a genuine grievance and I should be calling, I will still avoid trying to call just because I really do struggle to go through the whole process. And
it's a lot of hassle.
It's I don't know if it's just the hassle though. I think hassle is part of it, but yeah, I do find the phone calls itself and, you know, speaking to people and going through, oh, you know, just explaining myself like that. I know it sounds really silly, but I can't. I struggle with it. I do struggle with it a bit, and I will do it if I have to. You know, I have done it in the past. You know, if I've had an issue, you know, I'm okay. Like if say for example I'm not getting a certain service like from my broadband provider or whatever, I'm happy to call and let them know that I'm not getting what I'm expecting. But I don't know. Sometimes it's hard, but it definitely is worth doing though, because like you said, if people actually did it, if everyone who was in my situation who doesn't necessarily enjoy it did it, I think things like you said would get resolved very quick because they suddenly would get an influx because there's always a silent majority, isn't there?
But they can't ignore the numbers, you know, if a lot of people complain. Graham Nichols has said, I asked for a refund and was told no. So perhaps it's on a case-by-case basis, but I still think that's well worth chasing.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you get if you can get a month's subscription back if you've had shoddy service, then yeah, definitely. Right, Lisa Curry says, "Hi, I'll have a question. How can I have watches and no page views on my PC? I cannot even see watches or views. Only see them on my phone." The answer, Lisa, is because eBay is a bit glitchy at the moment. That is
there's
it.
A lot of things going wrong behind the scenes, but obviously we don't know why or how. But
oh my gosh, Diana Clank says the glitch for me was they deleted my entire item description area, hundreds of items.
What?
Wow. Oh my god. Now, and pictures were gone too, says Diana. Wow. So some people have been affected worse than others, and I think that may be why.
Have you complained, Diana?
Oh my
Did you
goodness.
get any recompense from eBay for that? Because they might as well have deleted the listing, to be honest.
Yeah. That is crazy.
And you imagine if you didn't know, because
well, you don't. That's the thing.
I didn't even check all of mine. I still haven't.
No.
And for all I know, stuff is missing. Items have vanished.
And by what I know for a fact, I've got certain listings now up there with just one photograph. Now, if I'm to go by eBay's own guidelines, that listing is not going to have as good a visibility as it would have done previously, because it's not got like a certain amount of photographs. So it's insane. And I don't know how many of my listings have just got one photograph now. I just don't know. I've got to, you know, I suppose find time to do that, but I'd rather not.
Time is the most valuable thing to a self-employed person, really. And you imagine if you have a huge store and you've got to manually look at everything, check the amount of pictures,
pull out this like, just in my situation, I don't even have tons. We've got about 1,400 listings, but it means going through each of them, checking which ones have got one photo, and then what am I meant to do? Go through each of these boxes, pull out each of the item again. It's just such a bad way to spend your time.
That's shocking, Diana.
Yeah,
I thought it was just pictures. That's all I'd heard about that glitch.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Wow, that is incredible. That really is incredible. It shows that some people are having a much like tougher time of it than others even. So right. Let's have a look.
Oh, Stephen Steph say nobody has told me their usernames. Oh, Jason has now.
Okay.
I can have a look.
There we go. Darren says, I read that eBay were 20% down in sales in the UK since, and Amazon were up 15%. Goes to show the slow sales aren't just based on the weather. My FBA shipment has been flying out all week. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I said this last year. Like, we had like a really like rough patch of sales like going back early last year. I remember like Beck and I were doing our weekly chat and we were posting some really bad sales figures, and then we came across this amazing haul of electricals and high-end hi-fi, etc., and overnight our store changed. And that was a great example of when, you know what, it's not always about, it's not the time of year, you know, because some people were trying to say, oh, maybe it's the time of year, etc., and it wasn't. It was just that what we had listed before wasn't great. We suddenly got some great stock, and things changed overnight. So I'm aware of that completely. And just as Darren has pointed out there, his FBA shipment is flying out all week. So Amazon shoppers are still shopping and spending money, even though it's 30-degree heat, even though England are still in the World Cup, even though it's coming into the summer holidays, whatever the other excuses
I think
there
things
are.
have been compounded because there is a natural slowdown at this time, and there are things like the World Cup that will affect things in a certain way, but it's been compounded by the actual physical problems with the website. You know what I mean? And then it throws your brain into disarray. Like, well, what are the reasons? Is it something I'm doing? Is it the website? Is it the weather? Is it the football? I think it's a horrible combination of all of them that's affected pretty much everyone I speak to.
Yeah. Exactly. And Phoebe says, I asked for a refund too and was told no. I think it might be featured / anchor stores only.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a feeling Nick was probably right that it might be a case by case basis, maybe, because if people are being affected, and, you know, for example, I'm pretty sure if you know, who was it earlier, Diana went to them and said, you know, look, you've just deleted my descriptions as well, you know, she'd probably stand a pretty good chance, I would think.
Yeah, Shazad says you should ring in again as the next rep may be more sympathetic to your cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always worth it, and sometimes it depends how you describe your problem. They might have a list of things, you know what I mean? It depends how you approach it and how you word things sometimes. So have another go.
Yeah. Shazad might as well play Fortnite. Z. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm like, I think I'm just at the stage in a way now where I know the stuff I've got listed is in demand from people. I know it sells, and, you know, it, touch wood, things seem to have switched on a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. But right now it feels that I don't think any amount of listing is suddenly going to, you know, negate what's going on. I mean, obviously in certain ways it does. I mean, you know, for example, again, we talk about Ken, you know, he's got over 20,000 listings and only 3,000 are visible, but that means he's still got 3,000 visible listings at ebay.com. So he's still going to get some sales, isn't he? Right. Reseller Mum says, I noticed with shoes when they upgraded the sizing in item specifics, they didn't automatically paste details over. This affected the views on those items. For me, I had to manually amend. Oh, wow. So item specifics have been affected as well. And Shazad says, I checked my listings and only 7 out of 308 are showing on ebay.com. Wow.
Good Lord.
Well, it's lucky you do such a storming business over here then, mate. Someone is to call me back today. Thank God had Ink Frog back up for eBay, says Diana. Yeah, I mean,
I read that. Yeah, what is that then? So you back up your descriptions and photos, I guess. So
I think Ink Frog is like, you know, Octiva and things like that. I think I remember Joe used to use it, and I think Caroline used to use it as well. Where you pay like a small monthly fee and you list on their platform, like on their, through their website. It's like a bulk online, yeah, but they back up every listing, every photo on their servers. So so it's like another layer on top, I suppose. Wow. Mr. Diggs is getting some channel plugs in. Definitely check out the channels that Mr. Diggs is talking about. I think he's mentioned Peter Ray, Lex, Sparrows End, and Darren Smart Reselling as well, and Nick and Andrea's as well. So yeah, definitely check those out. And he's plugged me on my own channel as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Lisa Curry says, do you think the fact that it is strong boot sale season that peeps are buying at booties and not on eBay as much? I wouldn't think so. I think car boots, I mean, obviously more people will go to buy when the weather's nice, but I wouldn't necessarily feel that they're not the same kind of buyer, are they? The person that goes to buy a car boot isn't the person that's going to shop on eBay and knowingly pay, market value for something.
What was the question there? Sorry, the difference between eBay and boot sale buyers?
Oh, no. She said, it was like, do you think the fact that it is strong boot sale season that people are buying at booties and not on eBay as much?
Oh, no. Like you say, totally different buyers. There's a whole, a big section of society that wouldn't ever consider going to a boot sale.
Yeah.
But they'd happily buy the same item on eBay because it's got a fancy picture for 10 times as much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some people still have stigmas about things like car boots, and some people even have stigmas about charity shops, don't they? I mean, some people just won't entertain the idea of wearing used clothes or
there's a big portion of society that just wouldn't buy secondhand, whether it's on eBay, Amazon, or anywhere. They're just like, oh my God, that's disgusting, But thank God we're all different.
Yeah. Reseller Mum says that was a couple of months ago, Zaheer. Oh, the shoe size issue. I complained to them weekly about the sizing. They changed it, and you couldn't manually input EU and UK. Okay. Right. Ink Frog, Diana says, is around $20 a month, but yeah, you can bulk edit there. Yeah, it's like a bulk editing and listing tool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the peace of mind and for the functionality, I suppose it could be worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I had hoped for a ka-ching sound during this chat with almost 1,000 items listed for Nick and Z combined, just quite as us with only 100 active listings, says Fritzstel. I think I did get a ka-ching actually early on.
My ka-ching is still broken. It ka-chings on Andrew's. I should uninstall it and install it again.
I'm sorted for the day. We just sold some hex adapters for £7.20. Okay.
Oh, I do have one thing left to ship that thankfully is just Magic the Gathering cards. So
nice. Magic the Gathering.
On it. Everything else is now on holiday mode.
Shazad says, I've never been to boot sale. There you go. No, it's just not everyone's cup of tea. Okay. Dave Rowland has asked, so France or Belgium?
Belgium.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's going to be an amazing match.
It is. It's going to be a bonkers match.
I'll say Belgium 3-2. How's that?
Oh gosh.
That'd be amazing if there was that many goals.
I don't know. We'll have to see. That's a good point, actually. Thank you for reminding me. That's excellent.
Game on,
tonight at 7. 2 minutes.
Yeah,
smashing, exactly. All right. What other comments have we had come in? Is there a way to download listings into Excel, says Al's Attic? Yes, you can, but I don't think it downloads the photos, Al's Attic. I think you can download listings or export them to like a Excel format. I'm pretty sure there's something deep in eBay which lets you do that, but I'm pretty sure that won't also, it doesn't send your photos out. It's more just so you can like bulk edit listings on your own, on a spreadsheet. I don't think it actually works. And to be honest with you, the thought of me doing that and then uploading them back in and expecting everything to go back in the right place, I'd just be a bit nervous about that right now.
I was just going to mention, we on the last chat on my channel, we said that we were going to try and change up the format a little bit and get a kind of revolving group of YouTubers that can dip in and out week on week. We didn't get ourselves organized. My mind has been elsewhere, as you know, with holiday things and whatever. But once I get back and we'll get back into the routine, we'll try and get that set up. And
definitely, I think that was such a good idea. It will just keep things fresh, and it would be great to have like someone else to chew the fat with, you know, like we could be like, you know.
So we'll message a few people. Like I say, when I'm back on holiday, we'll have a chat about it and get something set up and in place. So we'll shake things up a bit.
On that note, I think it's dead on at 7. Shazad has taken the words right out of my mouth. I'm off, guys, going to watch the match. Enjoy it if you're into it. If you're not into it, enjoy whatever else you're going to be doing. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Nick, you know, I'm sure we'll talk again anyway, but, you know, have a safe journey.
Yes,
I'd just be buzzing right now. I'd just be like, I can't wait as well.
I tell you, it doesn't feel real. It's come around so quick. I honestly don't feel like I'm going anywhere. But it's happening at 4 a.m.
That's so funny. But it is happening.
It's mad. It's happening.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.
See ya.